Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to be playing out two builds of Explore Mono Red and Best of One. So I wanted to try out both. Both of these have about a 60% win rate through Platinum to Mythic on Untapped GG. I don't know which version's better, but I want to give a shot to both. I generally enjoy playing Mono Red in Historic, so this is kind of a call to that in a way. And really, the kind of variants that we'll see. So they're pretty much built on the same core. You have like Kumano faces the Coxswain. That gives like damage, buff, and then another creature. Burning Tree, Robber of Rich, kind of your package. Fervent Champion as the one drop as well in this deck. Notably, this version is playing Rimrock Knight as a pump spell and just an additional creature. This version's on 4 Bone Crusher, 4 Annex, and then 2 Chandras. So it's kind of a card advantage-y version. And then it has Lightning Strike to deal with Greasefang, which I do like because I anticipate there's going to be a fair share of Greasefang in Best of One right now since the Winota ban. And then your top ends, Torbrand and Embercleave to kind of just push through the additional points of damage. Good utility lands in Den of the Bugbear and Ramanop Ruins. So there's this version of the deck, and then there's this version that's a little bit more weenie creature based. So in addition, so no Fervent Champion, you have Fanatical Firebrand as like a pinger. You have Foundry Street Denizen that gets bigger whenever another red creature enters the battlefield. You have your Karizevs, Robber of the Rich, and Burning Tree Emissary in this version. Only 2 Bone Crusher Giants, 4 Chainwhirlers, and then the same top end, 1 less land in this version. So you're going Lord of the Ground in this one, but you have less interaction. So I want to see how kind of both of them play out. If I remember correctly, this one doesn't have Karizev in it, does it? No Karizev. In place, you're playing more Lightning Strike. So we'll give this one a shot first. I want to see how this one plays. I haven't playing too much since the Winota ban. I was jamming some Historic. If you are looking for the Historic version, I'm 21-6 this season with this version here. Very similar kind of idea. You get the Reckless Ringleader, which is a real boost to this archetype, giving haste to your top end. Cemetery Gatekeeper is to hit graveyard decks in the Best of One, and then Ferocidon turns off all the life gain decks in the format. So let's give this a shot, see how it plays out. What is my daily? Is it a mono red one? Cast 40 creature spells. Let's play mono red. So we will see how this plays out. Let's start with the Chandra version. I've really been wanting to try to find a shell for Chandra. I really like the Planeswalker. I just haven't had a chance to really find what works best. And before I forget, I need to turn the game audio on. Forgot that on the last one. Whoop. Alright. Playing 548 Mythic, we're at 99%. This hand actually doesn't do much on the play, so I'm going to mulligan. We already have 4 lands and we don't have anything to play off Burning Tree. So this hand's great. Let's hit a land. So this is mono blue tempo. So generally a good matchup, because we can get to the board first and we can go wider. Curious Obsession on one of our things. So they go Obsession here. They could have a counter spell. See if they tap out here. They don't. So I could force him to play less into the board. Let me see what I hit here first. I think we do this. Because if they're countering spells here, they're likely not committing more to the board. And I'm winning this race right now. The Spirit's going to be annoying because it could become a 2-3. But them doing this means, so I'm going to force them. They either need to have a counter spell. That's annoying because now they could still do the pump here. I think we still need to just push damage. So they take Robber off. At this point now they're kind of winning the race. The fact they had double Geist Snare goes a long way. Here we just need to continue forcing. you're not going to win when they have triple Geist Snare. Had a good start, but triple Geist Snare is going to get you pretty much every matchup. That's kind of how the mono blue deck goes. Either you interact with their Spectral Sailor or their Curious Obsession line. I don't think it made a difference the way we kind of approached that game. They had 3 counters. You kind of have to jam in that the force. Like, we were hoping that they had to spend 2 mana that turn, so they couldn't then play like an adversary and also level it up. Because if they had a 2 mana spell that turn, then they can't actually level up, and then I get to keep my 3 creatures around. The hand was reasonable. If we drop Annex, even being on the play goes a bit further there, because we could have then snuck the Annex down when they played their 2 mana spell. So play draw disparity, counter spells when they had it. Mono blue gonna mono blue you sometimes. I feel like that matchup's gonna be polarizing in both ways. That sounds it's pretty solid. Could be Angels, which could be problematic. Thalia. You want to trade? It doesn't attack well into Thalia, but I think we still do this. Don't love that. Jeez. Everybody's popping off today against us. No attacks here. I think we still do this. So I know the Annex is going to die, but we'll see if they want to trade off anything else here. I get 2 tokens after. And then I have Chandra that can also deal 3 damage up top. It's 9-13, so they decide not to do that. This could be Collected Company. Problem, this Chandra is actually a pain in the ass. I think we do this. It's not great, but the first strike on this Thalia has been really annoying. Would love one of those lightning strikes we have so many of in our deck. Yeah. Opponent's popping off. Let's give this one more go, and then we'll switch to the other version if we don't pick up any games. Been a bit slow. Like, Thalia doesn't normally hurt us in the sense of the tax, but the first strike being super relevant there, with both pumps. And like, we have, and that's what I'm a little bit concerned with the other version. Like, we have Chainwhirler, but Chainwhirler really wouldn't have done much because they had 2 pumps on there. Luminar coming in reasonable. They found a couple threats. we're just getting outscaled from a creature perspective. Okay, so I think let's try this one out. Hopefully it's a creature-based matchup. Mono blue. How does this... and you have an enchantment, so now we basically lost. Yeah, okay, so I'm not feeling this. There's a lot of mono blue. You can't win at this point. They have Curious Obsession, they can pump it up, I can't kill this. It's not going to make sense. Okay, so this mono red deck is not feeling good into the mono blue deck. Which is odd, because typically... I guess the Spirits is not as... So let's try out the weenie version, see if it plays better. The big thing in the mono blue, mono red matchup is be better and luckier at being on the play. This deck felt awful. Let's see how the more aggressively slanted version. And like, we're not seeing Greasefang, we're not seeing any of those kind of style decks. 2 mono blues and a humans. The Benelish Marshal's an interesting inclusion in that humans list. There's a lot of good 3-drops. They're going more stompy based. It might be better served even going more burn focused. While this creature deck can put out more sustained damage, having interaction like the lightning strike, stuff like that. But a lot of it's just going to come down. Like, to be honest, I didn't realize Geist Snare also reduced on the enchantment. Otherwise we would have waited till their turn. But even then they get up more mana, so they pretty much had the nut draw there for protection. Okay, opponent goes first. I don't think we've been on the play at all either in any of these games, which is kind of annoying. They put us in the dumpster tier. This mono red deck's really good into the Rakdos deck. Okay, well, BT, Karizev will be a nice drop. And now I play Angels. So now we literally can't win. Gotta hope for Embercleave, but... And this is one of the problems where you're pretty much dead on board to this Angels deck, which will show up in some capacity. Yikes. We really need a land here. A land for Torbrand is kind of our only out in this particular circumstance. Okay, so they can't drop a Righteous Valk, which is good, but any like Jada, anything like that's going to be pretty scary. This version's on 24 lands as well. Embercleave's actually a really good draw. They have like Faithful Absence. March. Getting rid of her Splendid Angels, actually fantastic. Let's see what they do here. Um... I think we're just doing this, and then setting up for Embercleave next turn. I can deal 10 damage with Trample. They gain 8 and 8. Kind of does us in there. You really needed a land. Even the fact that it was March and not like Fateful Absence, that we could have pushed a bunch. Like, we're dealing a chunk, but now they get some cheaper blockers in there. Any angel they draw is a ton of life. Basically like the best start against us. Oh, we're so dead. No Ferocidon in there. We've had good hands, but we just can't like pull anything out in these games, which is incredibly frustrating. Like, double BTE into another 2-drop, have Embercleave in hand, have an Annex, they happen to have March in their likely Collected Company deck as well. They drew 2 Bishops, 3 Resplendent Angels in that game. The fact that Resplendent Angel not only itself creates 8 life, but then generates another 8 life, and that turn there they would have gained 32 life on us. This hand doesn't really do much. I think we're gonna mulligan. Okay, we'll keep. I would love a 2-drop for this hand. Okay, it's not the best, so this is probably a Doomscar, if I'd have to guess. I don't think I'm going to commit the chainwhirler here yet. They just ramping into like Ugin. Because the thing is, like, if they Doomscarred, I didn't have much of a follow-up. And I have to imagine that's Doomscar if they're on, like, a Bant pile. Yeah, that kind of forces it out of them. So I think this turn we go Torbrand. Surprised Embercleave could be decent. They keep it back on defense. I can't really do anything. We are just not getting any luck in any of these games. Both of these decks are, yeah. Let's give it one more, just so folks can see. Like, we have been on the wrong side of variance in every single one of these. If I do the chainwhirler that turn, they sweep instead of Solemn. The fact Solemn's colorless also, like, I don't think that's where we can be. Finally. It's also the first game we've seen a single Kumano. Interesting that they held up Spell Pierce against us. Could have gone with Robber there, but... Could be Esper Greasefang. Yep. Could be dead next turn. So annoying, we're 1 point off. Just do this. Even if they Greasefang us here, I think we're still okay, and this provides me board wipe insurance. We finally got one. Finally got one. Like that matchup, opponent got kind of unlucky. They hit the Greasefang on turn 2. They had 2 otherworldly. Let's try this one out. See how it goes. Greasefang likely. That's a good start for us. So I'm going to go Kari Zev here because it lets me push out more damage against them. This turn I can Robber. Alright, so we're beating the Greasefang decks, but they're kind of just spinning their wheels and stumbling. Do one more. Now we kind of hit our rhythm. See what else has been doing well. That looks great. Mono red mirror. We'll see what variant they are of mono red. the BTE drop. That's actually very good for us. I think given that, let's just get Robber going. Next turn. Well, I do have Kari Zev. Oh, they're still mainboarding Red Cap Molly. A bit dated. I don't want to go triple Kumano. I'm gonna block this still. Ooh, they're playing big.
What? Today's my lucky day.
Oh, actually, that's annoying. So I have 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming in here. So 1, 2. Kill Chandra. Can't have that hanging around.
Well, that was a disaster.
So what I'll probably do here is put on a double block and then kill one of their creatures. Yeah, we're still doing that. I think we're doing this. I can't beat Embercleave out of them. I guess this was a bad attack. They always take that block. Okay, so I get 2 cracks at it. If I do that, I get 3 damage. They need to block with Menace. They have 3 blocker. Because I get token off that. These become 3 power. So they block with like this. Torbrand lives. Annex lives. They take the 2. Can hold this back, but Annex lives regardless. I think we gotta hold off. So I can't beat Embercleave regardless. Yeah, doesn't matter. These weenies just didn't do great. They went a little bigger. All in all, these just didn't feel great. Like, You feel smaller than the other creature decks. You don't have the sustained card advantage. Opponent kind of drew out better with the Chandra. Color me unimpressed, and I love mono red, but let me know what you think. Obviously, this is doing well in some cases, but I think you're bad into the Greasefang decks despite just beating them, and you're bad into Angels.